Okay, Steve, thank you so much for joining us here at Super Return. That was a packed room for your presentation. People are fascinated. What is it that grips them about your story?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, we didn't think anybody would ever be interested in hearing our story. And we truly turned down two producers from Hollywood to do the story. And the third guy he had some connections that we knew and that we trusted, and he was a little more persuasive. But honestly, there's nobody more surprised by this whole thing than we are.
You're suddenly famous, Javier. Is that a strange outcome from all this?
It is strange, and you know what? I think that there's a lot of people that do not believe that Pablo's atrocities, his violence, really happened, and it did happen. It's real. It's real life. I mean, and we try to tell the history of what actually happened, and we talk about it because it's a lesson in history, and we need to learn.
What was it about Pablo Escobar that allowed him to get where he got and to be as powerful and influential as he was?
Well, he did have some, and we really hesitate to give him credit for anything because he was such an evil person. But he did have somewhat of a charismatic personality. And so what he did to earn the admiration of the people in the barrios were he built low-cost housing for people who literally lived in a trash dump. And so you think about that, if you lived in a trash dump, that's where your clothing came from, your food, maybe what little bit of shelter you could get, and all of a sudden somebody comes in and gives you a free place to live, whether it's an apartment or a row house, whatever it is. You now have a roof over your head, you have electricity, you have running water, you have a door that you can lock to give you a little bit of security, that sense of security for you and your family. Of course you're going to look at that guy as your hero and your savior, right?
So he bought their loyalty and he had vast wealth. So how on earth do you even begin to overcome that as agents and as a force?
And I think our biggest was, our admiration for the Colombian National Police because, they lost a lot of their people, a lot of the innocent people were killed. They took their country back, and we were with them, but my admiration is for them, but it's a lot of lives, that were lost at the behest of Pablo Escobar. The violence, we credit him with, he's the inventor of narco-terrorism. And, like Steve said, he was just a charismatic person, but at the same time, he would, who puts a car bomb where kids are buying their book supplies back? That type of person. So he wanted body count, because it was his fight against Colombia.
With that in mind and how scary and influential he was, how on earth did you even begin to approach informants? That always is a fascinating thought, because how do you convince these people that you're better than option in those situations than he is?
Well, there were a couple of contributing factors here. One was we were offering a $5 million bounty or reward for information that led to his capture. So there was the financial enticement was there. But the other thing was, and this is unfortunate, but there was some political corruption there, and the citizens of Medellin just didn't trust the Colombian police. So what we did is we established a 1-800 number in Medellin where people could call in, and Javier and I would man the phone because they wanted to talk to a gringo, they didn't want to talk to a Colombian. And then they would give us information. Well, we were in Colombia, we had no jurisdiction. And so the information that came in, of course, we were standing right there with our Colombian counterparts, and we'd share the information, and we'd make a decision on what we would do.
Do you see those informants as being pretty brave in those situations? Because so much information got back to Pablo.
He had police officers on the take. There was a lot of corruption. He would pay them. Police officers, I remember during the first time, they would call him, says, hey, we're going to go hit this location. Then the second time, the second search, when we got involved, there was no calls could be made. It was more controlled. You'd let the police officers know at the last minute, we're going to go here, nobody uses the phone. I even tell people he hired a cook to poison us at the school. Everybody just got sick. I mean, so he had that ingenuity that it's something that, a trafficker, and because of that ingenuity he thought of, who would think of that, hiring a cook to kill people, you know what I'm saying?
Dealing with such a dangerous man, you talked there about the informants having the enticement of $5 million. What on earth was your motivation, guys? Because you had serious bounties on your heads.
Well, we usually tell the audiences they didn't hire us because we were smart. And speaking for both of us, we both have a very strong work ethic. Obviously, you don't go into law enforcement to make money. That's because you don't. But we view the title of being a public service as a badge of honor. And we're proud that we did that. You know, you're able to do a little bit to help your fellow man. You know, you feel like you're contributing to the good of the entire world. So you have to be able to focus on your mission, and this is a lesson that's just not pertains to law enforcement. This can pertain to any industry in the world. You set your goals, your objectives, whatever you want to call it. We call it a mission. And then you have to focus on that mission, but you have to carry through. So when the times get tough and things don't go the way that you want them to go, you have to be able to see beyond that and just work through it. And we both had that commitment.
To be fair, not everybody's missions are life-threatening like yours were, though.
Oh, you know my wife, do you?
But they, joking aside, what motivated you to stay brave in those situations?
Our motivation was with we had a special group of police officers. I mean, they lost a lot of guys. You know, they had a hatred for Pablo Escobar. This wasn't about, you know, going after money, going after dope. This was about, you know, going after Escobar. You know, Escobar hated the police and he killed a lot of them. And then you would see the innocent people. That's that motivation that keeps you going.
So you're now 20 years on and you're back here in the limelight. How does that feel? And what do you hope people learn, if you like, from your presentations? What messages do you hope they take away when you speak now about that time in your lives?
Well, you know, being in the limelight initially was very embarrassing for us, but it's like anything else, you get used to it, you know, you become accustomed to it. But it's still a very humbling experience that people want photographs with us and they want our autographs. I mean, we're just a couple of small town country guys that just had the opportunity to work on a big case. Our message would be, you can't stop the fight against drugs. And whether you believe in legalization or not, I don't care about that. I do care that we're looking at legalizing any type of illegal narcotics, especially in the United States. And what we tell people is just go back and look at history. You know, legalization's been tried in numerous countries around the world, including the United States. We had the big opium dens back in the Wild West days. It didn't work then. Why do we think it's going to work now? You know, the other thing is we want people to know the sacrifices, and not talking about us, but talking about our Colombian counterparts down there, Colombian National Police, the sacrifices that they made, and that happens all over the world. It happens in England, it happens here in Germany. You have law enforcement officers and military people who are willing to risk their lives, but we can't do it by ourselves. We have to have the support of the public. You know, most of the time we start our presentation by saying, you know, this is a lesson in history. Well, why do you study history? Ostensibly or theoretically, you study it to learn from our mistakes. Sadly, the truth is we don't do that. We study it, but we continue to make the same mistakes. So I guess the lesson would be, it hasn't worked before. Why do we think it's going to work now? I mean, is it just because we're becoming a more permissive society? It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Javier, is the same message that you hope people take away?
And if you look at history, what happens to all these cartels? We take them off. What happened with Cali? They grew big. We went after Cali. You took them off. There's always going to be some group of people, traffickers, that as long as they can make money, get their dope across so that people can use them, you know, this problem's not going to end. There's too much money involved. And like I said, not into the legalization, but if you look at the lives it ruins, you know, the addiction, look at the heroin problem we're going through right now in the United States. Look at the legalization of marijuana. Marijuana is not what, you know, I mean, people don't realize the marijuana right now, the THC, which is that makes you high, is 23%. The hydroponics, that's dangerous, you know? So I just, like I said, we've tried, we got to keep on trying. However, if we can get better in our socialization process, not getting involved with this stuff.
And your newfound celebrity could do good to send that message out there.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Trying to send the message.
And it's honestly, it's not about the celebrity. You know, we go places where, you know, really big name speakers won't come out and talk to people, and I mean, we're nobody special. You know, we were lucky enough to do what we wanted to do for 30 plus years. I was a police officer for almost 38 years. Javier was for 37 years. I never wanted to do anything else but be a policeman. But it does give us that opportunity to continue to put the anti-drug message out there. So we feel like we're still doing our little bit to contribute to that message.
Two very self-effacing men. I'll call you brave, even if you won't. Thanks so much for joining us here. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much.